minute can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power. Read and rise higher. 9R Tree. Better life begins in a book.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9R Tree's podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book, When the Body Says No, Exploring the Stress-Disease Connection, by Gabor Maté M.D. Explores how unprocessed emotions, chronic stress, and lifelong patterns of self-denial can silently shape our physical health. Drawing on years of medical practice, case studies, and research, Maté argues that many serious illnesses are not random events, but the body's final attempt to communicate what the mind has long ignored. He examines conditions such as cancer, autoimmune disease, heart disease, and chronic fatigue, and links them to specific emotional patterns and early life experiences. The book invites readers to look beyond genetics and pathogens and to consider how personality, boundaries, and trauma can play a role in disease. Written in accessible language yet grounded in science, it challenges conventional thinking about health while offering a compassionate, human-centered view of illness and healing. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the stress-disease connection. A central theme of the book is that chronic, unrelieved stress plays a powerful role in the development of many modern illnesses. Gabor Maté explains that stress is not only about external pressures such as work deadlines or financial problems. It also includes inner conflicts, suppressed emotions, and the constant effort to meet expectations at the cost of one's own needs. The body responds to these ongoing tensions through hormonal and immune changes designed for short-term survival, not for lifelong activation. When stress becomes chronic, these systems begin to dysregulate, making individuals more vulnerable to heart disease, cancer progression, autoimmune conditions, and other serious disorders. Maté illustrates this connection through numerous clinical stories, showing how patients with devastating illnesses often lived for years in a state of quiet inner stress, saying yes when they meant no, minimizing their own pain, or living under the weight of unresolved emotional burdens. By highlighting this invisible strain, he invites readers to recognize the warning signs before the body reaches the point where it must say no through disease. Secondly, personality traits and hidden emotional patterns. The book emphasizes that certain personality traits, often praised by society, can carry hidden health risks when taken to extremes. Maté identifies recurring patterns among his patients with serious illnesses: compulsive caregiving, an excessive need to please, inability to express anger, rigid perfectionism, and a deep fear of disappointing others. These traits are not superficial quirks, but coping strategies developed early in life to secure love, safety, or acceptance. He shows how people who always prioritize others, ignore their own needs, or relentlessly push themselves tend to chronically suppress emotional signals such as anger, grief, or fear. This emotional self-suppression is not simply psychological, it has physiological consequences. The nervous, hormonal, and immune systems constantly adjust to support the role the person is playing, rather than the reality of what they feel. Over years, this mismatch between inner experience and outer behavior can undermine resilience and increase susceptibility to disease. By naming these patterns, Maté empowers readers to see how everyday niceness or self-sacrifice can become biologically costly when it silences authentic emotional expression. Thirdly, childhood experience, attachment, and the body. Gabor Maté devotes significant attention to how early childhood experiences shape both emotional style and physical health. He explains that a child's developing brain and stress response systems are highly sensitive to the emotional environment. When caregivers are stressed, emotionally unavailable, critical, or inconsistent, the child may adapt by becoming overly compliant, hyper-responsible, or emotionally numb. While these adaptations may help the child maintain attachment and safety, they often require suppressing authentic feelings and needs. Maté connects these early adaptations to adult patterns of self-effacement, inability to set boundaries, or chronic anxiety, which later manifest as physiological vulnerability. He highlights research showing that childhood adversity, even when not overtly traumatic, correlates with higher rates of chronic illness decades later. The key mechanism is not simply psychological memory, but the long-term wiring of stress systems and immune responses. By tying attachment theory, developmental neuroscience, and clinical observation together, the book helps readers understand that the roots of many health problems lie not only in adult lifestyle choices, but in survival strategies learned in the earliest stages of life. Fourthly, case studies of illness as the body's final message. A powerful aspect of When the Body Says No is its rich collection of real-life case studies. Maté describes patients with cancer, multiple sclerosis, ALS, inflammatory bowel disease, and other conditions whose life histories share striking similarities. These individuals often appear outwardly strong, kind, capable, and selfless. Yet closer examination reveals years of emotional self-neglect, silent resentment, or unprocessed grief. Through these stories, Maté does not blame patients for their illnesses, but reveals how the body eventually speaks when the conscious mind cannot. He recounts how some patients only began to set boundaries or express anger after receiving a life-threatening diagnosis. In many cases, their bodies had said no in the only way left, through disease. The narratives show how difficult it can be to notice the early, subtle signals of distress, such as minor symptoms, fatigue, or mood changes, especially in cultures that reward productivity and self-denial. These stories personalize the book's scientific arguments, making the stress disease link tangible and emotionally resonant, and offering readers a mirror in which they might recognize their own patterns before serious illness emerges. Lastly, healing through awareness, boundaries, and authenticity. Beyond describing the problem, Maté offers a path toward healthier living by encouraging emotional awareness and authenticity. He argues that healing begins when individuals learn to notice what they truly feel and need, rather than automatically performing roles imposed by family, culture, or inner critics. This includes recognizing anger as a legitimate signal of violated boundaries, acknowledging grief instead of numbing it, and allowing vulnerability instead of hiding it behind competence or busyness. The book encourages readers to practice saying no without guilt, to value their own time and energy, and to cultivate relationships where they can be fully themselves. Maté does not promise that such changes will cure every illness, but he insists they can reduce stress, improve quality of life, and potentially influence the course of disease. He also calls on healthcare systems and societies to see illness in a broader context, addressing emotional and social factors alongside medical treatment. By linking self-knowledge, self-compassion, and boundary setting to physical well-being, the book offers a practical, humane framework for living in a way that does not force the body to protest through sickness. In conclusion, When the Body Says No is especially valuable for readers who sense that stress and emotional strain are taking a toll on their bodies, yet cannot clearly see how. It is well suited for caregivers, healthcare professionals, people with chronic illness, and anyone who struggles to say no or constantly puts others first. Rather than offering quick fixes, Gabor Maté provides a deep, integrated understanding of how biography becomes biology, helping you see links between your history, your personality, and your health. This book can benefit your life by teaching you to recognize early warning signs of burnout and disease, to respect your own needs, and to set boundaries without shame. It stands out from many health books because it bridges science, psychology, and compassionate storytelling, avoiding simplistic advice. Instead of focusing only on diet or exercise, it invites a transformation in how you relate to yourself and others. Buying this book means investing in a framework that can change the way you interpret symptoms, make choices, and protect your long-term well-being. If you would like to support Gabor Maté M.D., you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.
1 minute can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power, read and rise higher. 9 or tree, better life.